About 3 years ago, for a reason I'm not entirely sure why, I seemed to move down to Hove, and about a year ago, the school where my stepdaughter go to, suddenly it was announced that it was going to become an academy. And the bit of what you said, Julia, that really strikes with me is a proper consultation process. Because it turns out that the rules of how to change a school from one that's connected to the local authority into an academy, a consultation process has to take place. But, this is the words, a consultation is deemed to have taken place if the parents are told that it is going on. Now, that's a consultation process that Vladimir Putin would be happy to. So, out come the brochures, out come all these marvellous little glossy brochures, the sort you get from a tourist office. I don't know if you recognise any of this. These are the marvellous buildings that you'll have when there's an academy. This is what's going to happen. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be, you're going to have money. If we don't, I mean literally, if we don't go this way, there will be no money for the school at all. The buildings will rot. I mean, we were taken to this sort of thing where they consulted us by telling us this and shown films. You couldn't spoof it better. There was a picture of a rotting building. That's what it's going to be without an academy. And then this sort of drawing, this space-agey sort of thing, like something from a 1970s science fiction. This is it. Your children will go to school in spaceships and live on and so on. So, a meeting was called at which people, very anxious, not a particularly radical constituency, a very marginal constituency politically, and people that, you sort of think, are you going to go with it? Someone came down and spoke very well about the need for direct action. I found myself thinking, oh, I can't see the neighbours going for that. And the neighbours did go for that. They all voted for it and threw their hats in the air and so on. But it seemed utterly impossible. I don't know, you may feel this. It seems impossible. That's it, it's done. There's no point in complaining and arguing. So we did the things you do. There was petitions, and there was meetings, and there was rallies, and there was sort of benefits and a march, and there was that sort of thing. And in particular, and this was where something was in our favour, two things that were very important. The first was that the Green Party, who have a big, the biggest party in the council, ordered the parents to have a ballot, ordered there to be an official parents' ballot, which the school didn't like. Such was their commitment to democracy. And the teachers, in a school where there was no history of any trade unions at all, some of them joined the union, and within a month, the two things went together. The campaign of the teachers alongside the campaign of the parents went together, each giving each other confidence. The teachers got enough people into the union to call a strike. Not everybody was in the union at that time. The headmaster was so arrogant that then even the people who weren't in the union said they'd support the strike, and the school was completely shut for a day. And on top of that, the ballot, we won 72 to 28%. At which point, the headmaster and the local Conservative MP said that this makes absolutely no difference. It's got nothing to do with what you vote for. And then just trashed the whole thing like that. So the campaign had to go on. I won't bore you with all the other things, except to say that bit by bit, we won the press round. Now this weren't easy. It seems like I'm just sort of reeling these things off as if we went down like the way it would be in a Hollywood movie. We went down and the press said, but we can't support this. This is outrageous. And we won them round and gave them a cup of tea. It was more difficult than that. But bit by bit, the press, the local television were down every day. They're so arrogant. They're not used to a proper fight. The heads, and Michael Gove was back in this, incidentally. The day that the ballot result came out was the same day that Michael Gove was kicked out of the cabinet. At that point, one by one, like in 12 Angry Men, except it was men and women, the Board of Governors, one by one, won people round, not really because they were politically won to the idea of the anti-academy, but they could see that the whole city was against them. It was on the local telly every night, it was on the front page of the local paper every day. There was marches and rallies and kids singing and dancing with placards every day. And in the end, the Board of Governors just chucked the towel in and said, all right, you're not going to have the academy, and they gave up. And the most, I'll just finish with this. This was the most, if it was a Hollywood film, you would say this is an outrageous ending, it couldn't happen. We had elections for 3 more vacant posts on the Board of Governors. We stood 3 people at the Academy, we won by a landslide, all 3 got on, which made it even more annoying for the head. This head, incidentally, was going to be head of, what was it, the phrase you used, a multi-academy network, some great Ponzi bloody thing. He was going to be, most pertinently, he was going to be able to award himself a 250 grand a year salary, whatever the phrase was. All of that was in ruins for him. He's now got to face a Board of Governors that hate him. And at the next meeting, he broke down in the meeting and started crying. At which point, it was his bad luck that one of the people we'd stood, who won the post of the Board of Governors, happened to be a mental health nurse, who then was given the job of going through all the process of getting into deep green breaths and calm blue ocean, or whatever you say, breathe into a bag, Mr. Trimmer, it's fine, you'll be fine. At which point he just gave up the whole thing, and this week he left the school altogether. It's one of the most brilliant things I've taken part in, and the school is not an academy, and if you go to the school now and you see the teachers are literally an inch taller than they were a year ago. They were in fear. You spoke to them, they dared, even at the meetings, they were like you sort of filmed you see of people in Soviet Union in 1960 or something, scared to speak. And now they speak there like every time that the head tries to bring in, well he's gone now, but every time he tried to bring in some new regulation where they had to work longer hours or something, they just said, well, we're not doing it. And they felt different people. Everyone who's taken part in that campaign feels like a different person. They feel like if we all stand up, at least we've got a chance. And people that